Hi, my name's Sheldon Livesay. I'm the director for Of One Accord Ministry, and we serve in two poverty-stricken Appalachian counties in northeast Tennessee. One is Hawkins and Hancock. And I'm telling you, friends, we've got some areas of Appalachia down here, back in rural communities, over the hills, down windy roads, that literally is in the middle of nowhere. And I want to tell you a story today about how I met a very, very unlikely person in an area, and you wouldn't have known him had you met him. And if you'll give me just a minute, let me share that story with you. How did I come about meeting this man? I went to church, was a leader in my church, and a new family visited my church. And you're right down where they live. And the pastor came to me. He had a full-time job. I did too, but he asked if I would be willing to go visit this family. So from here, you have to go, I'm guessing about nearly 15 miles. You go over a mountain, winding roads, and then when you get across the mountain, there's a little one-lane road, and this family lived about 6 miles down this little one-lane road. Now, when you get on a little one-lane road, 6 miles is a long, long way. So I was making my way down, and I had lost track, didn't have GPSs at that time. I lost track of the distance on my speedometer, and I got to thinking I should have been at the right place about, so I started looking for life. I mean, I was passing houses, but many of them didn't have a car. They were way back, and I was kind of afraid to go too far off the road, so I was watching, and I came by a farmer out in a field with his tractor, and so I stopped my car, and I got out of the car, and this guy just in overalls makes his way over to the fence, and I'm asking him if he knows where this family might live, a new family. Over there, everybody knows everybody, and they know everybody's business, but this man says, no, I don't know him. He says, really, I'm not from here. He says, I'm new here too. I bought this farm, and I love to come here from what I do to get away and work. And I said, well, what is it you do? I said, I'm really a ministry leader. What do you do? And he says, well, that's interesting because I'm a ministry leader too. He said, my name is Doc Eshelman, and he says, I'm the man that started the NFL chaplaincy program. He says, before any NFL game, we have services, we have a chaplaincy program, so there's a chaplain on duty for every NFL team that plays and every time they play. And he says, and it became so successful that I started it for every sport. So if you go to a car race or if you go to a basketball game, all of those have chaplain programs now, and I started those. And then he said, and I started a ministry by allowing retired NFL Christian players or NBA players to work through our ministry, and they go do area events at schools. And he was trying to explain that, and I was trying to listen best I could. But when he said, I started the NFL chaplaincy program, yes, right. Really? A farmer in overalls getting off his tractor, coming across the field in the middle of, I'm telling you, nowhere, out in the middle of Appalachia. What's the possibility of that? So anyway, this is the only time I ever met him, but he told me when I explained that, or he explained that they had ministry headquarters in Tazewell, Tennessee. And I explained, well, I work with a family business, and I actually drive up to Tazewell, and I serve the grocery stores and the restaurants up there. And he says, well, there's a restaurant right on Main Street. And I said, well, I work that restaurant. He says, just literally right next to it is our ministry headquarters. Why don't you stop sometime and meet the folks up there? So you know what? The next time I was up there, I decided to see, is this guy really true? Is he really real? And so I went in and I told the folks, I said, hey, I met Doc Eshelman, and he wanted me to come by and meet you guys. and their eyes got about this big. You met the boss. You met Doc Eshelman. And I said, did he really start the NFL chaplaincy programs? And they said, yes, he did. And I said, and you have a program so that NFL players and NBA players will come and they'll do events at area schools talking to students about making right choices? And they said, yes, he does. And I said, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. And they began to explain how the program worked. The program works so that on like a Monday, you have an NBA, NFL player come, and you have arranged it so that they do the full assembly of schools. And they'll come over a period of 3 days. They're willing to do up to 6 schools. Now, you can't talk about spirituality in the school, so you have to talk about making right choices, but you can say things in a way so that, like on a Wednesday night, you can do a big youth rally at an area school and invite students to come and to hear more of your story, where you can do a full invitation. And friends, for 2 years, we did that. Our ministry started growing and maybe in another direction than doing things in our schools, but we still feel good about that. And I think that's just amazing. I think it's really a God story of how God connects you in some of the most unlikely ways, and in this case, in some of the most unlikely places, to meet people that impact you and impact what you're doing, and in our case, the ministry and the lives of those students as these players came and they explained to the students how it's so vitally important to make right choices in life. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing this God story that I've shared. God bless you. Thank you for the privilege of hearing me share this, and you have a great day.